Hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're here for the first time. My name is Belinda Colleen, and I talk about reselling. And it's garage sales season. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this next weekend. I think if the weather's decent, we'll have some great garage selling. And I've missed it, to be honest. I think it's one of the best ways to get deals out there. While I have spent most of the winter, frequenting my favorite thrift stores, there's something unique and special about garage selling. I think it's the fact that people just want to get rid of stuff. When it goes to Goodwill, Goodwill picks through it. They put some of it online now. I mean, in a way, we are competing with Goodwill now, and it's made it much harder. Goodwill is not as friendly as it used to be to resellers because they are competing with us and taking a lot of the best stuff out before it even hits the shelves. But with people that are doing a garage sale, many times, so I mean, there are a lot of different reasons people do garage sales. One, they're just trying to get rid of the clutter. But what I always think of when I go garage selling is one man's trash is another man's treasure. So many times it's like, let me get rid of all this. I need to declutter. And they don't think about what something's worth. They have no idea many times what something's worth. And makes for perfect conditions for finding some great finds that are underpriced. And I hope that you'll find that to be true for you too, because it definitely has been for me. So let's talk about garage selling. It's a little bit different than going into a thrift store. And I know some of the things that I did when I first started reselling. I was always a little embarrassed to get on my phone. It was kind of like I didn't want them to know I was going to resell their stuff. And I don't know why. That was something in my head that I had to get past. And now I research there just like I do in a thrift store, but it was a mental thing. I think. To me it seemed more personal. This was their stuff. And so I felt a little weird about it. I don't know what that was about, but I've gotten over it and it doesn't seem to matter a hill of beans. So I don't worry about it anymore. And the other thing is, I had to get used to the idea of negotiating. Now, I think there are really polite and impolite ways to negotiate at garage sales. And maybe it's because I'm from the South, but those things really matter to me. I don't want to insult anyone. And so I've really decided that bundling things together is the best way to go. I'll find a bunch of things that I want, and then I'll go up, and instead of haggling over making it real personal about one item, I'll get a bunch of stuff. In other words, I like a lot of your stuff is what I'm telling them in essence. And then I'll say, would you take 20 for this? Or would you take 25 for this? And it's funny. I think you have the advantage because they're kind of in a position of surprise, but because they've been selling stuff for $2 and $3 and $5, when you come up and you say, how about 20 or 25 or 30 or 40 for all of this? I think they just hear the big number and they go, okay. I have almost never had anybody bargain with me at that point. It's like, because I'm buying a bunch of stuff, they seem to be extremely willing to barter with me, to bargain with me and just let me have it for whatever the number is I say, and which is much better, I think. I think the worst thing you can do is try to bargain on each item. I think you're just asking for problems and irritation, and you just want to make it easy. You want to make it easy for them to get rid of it, which is what they want to do. You want to say a bigger number, which of course sounds better to them. But you're sitting there and you know that you just got $200 worth of things for $20. And of course they don't know that, but you know that. So you have to be willing to be smart about it. Make it easy on the people at the garage sale. and make them feel like, they're they're bargaining at some level. And if they come back and say, well, how about 20? So you may even want to start with a number that you're willing to come down on. In other words, maybe you're willing to pay 50 for it, but you offer 40, and then they come back and say, well, what about 45? And then you're like, great, that works for me too. Just try to be agreeable and set it up so that you're in charge of what's going on and so that everybody wins. I mean, I think that's the big thing with garage sales. Everybody needs to feel like they win. And because these are business people, but they have some ego involved sometimes. It's their items, maybe their family's items, and everybody needs to feel like they did, that the transaction was good for everyone. Honestly, I'm overthinking it, and you probably will be overthinking it too, because honestly, I don't think people put that much thought in it. They just do a gut thing. As long as you seem polite and sensitive to their needs and considerate, and you say a number that's not ridiculous, that sounds good to them, I think you're okay. You're home free. And I think some of the best buys I've ever made were at garage sales. I have gotten some unbelievable things worth hundreds of dollars for $10 or $15 at a garage sale. A, they didn't know what it was worth. B, they didn't care. They just wanted the stuff out of their house. And, garage sales are weird things. They're either moving. A lot of times it's a stressful situation. The people are moving, or in the worst case scenarios, maybe someone in their family's passed or whatever, and they didn't go the estate sale route, and the family just got together and had a big garage sale, and they just want to get rid of it. They just want to get it out of their world so they can move on. And as tough as that is, I mean, you're doing a service for them to walk away with some of their stuff. They just need to move on. And that's a lot of what's going on with garage sales. And I know so many times when I've done garage sales myself, most of the time when I did them, I was moving. So it was kind of like, I do not want to rent a truck to carry all of this crap. And I want to, start fresh. That's a lot of it. They want to start fresh. So go in there, make your deals, and get out there and do your best and do the bundling thing. It will really serve you well. Find a few things. Now, there may be some cases where you can't find that many things that you want. Maybe you just find one thing that you want and you just bargain with that and you negotiate a little bit. But, and you might want to start low, but not insult, don't insult them. And I know that sounds crazy. I mean, if something's worth $150 and you offer them 20, you may think that's an insult, but they probably don't even know what it's worth a lot of times. So, and they'll come, believe me, if they find that an insult, they'll tell you. And here are some ideas that I've got for, bundling is the first thing that's very important. The second thing is, don't skip the marginal neighborhoods. I know there have been times when I have driven past a garage sale because I looked at the house and I thought, I don't think they're going to have anything I want. Drove past it. And the only reason I learned my lesson on that is I went out one day and there just weren't many garage sales. So some of the garage sales I would have driven past, I didn't drive past. I thought, well, let me just see what they've got, because I was hungry for garage sales and there weren't that many. So there was this house that was, looked a little rough around the edges and wasn't kept up very well. And I immediately made a judgment about it. I thought, they're not going to have anything that's worth anything. Boy, did I learn my lesson that day. Went into that house, and this is what's so interesting. Everybody has different priorities about how they spend their money. Some people spend their money on their home, put all their money there. Some people do it on their cars. Some people do it on their boats. their vacations, their kids. But then you've got people that do it on their record collection or something like that. I went into this house and they had this was a house that I was almost a little bit nervous about walking into. That's how it felt. I got in there. They had these fabulous antiques. They'd never gotten rid of anything. And they had the record collection like I have never seen before. I mean, I grew up in the 70s. I love rock and roll, and I have a little turntable, and I have just a few albums. But I went crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I had never seen such an amazing record collection in this place. And the place was practically a shack, but they had unbelievable stuff inside of it. And it wasn't just the records. That's the main thing I remember. I bought a bunch of them, and some of them I kept for myself and some of them I sold. But I was amazed at the things they had inside that little house. So don't judge a book by its cover, I guess, is the way to sum up that learning experience for me. Another thing, a third piece of advice for garage sales, now that garage sale season is coming around, is don't skip the freebie boxes. It's kind of like the shabby house. Sometimes there's some gold in those freebie boxes. Sometimes you think, you see a freebie box, it's got a couple of hangers in it, and, you look, it looks like it has a bottle in it that had Fresca in it 20 years ago, whatever. Don't skip it. I have found some amazing things in the freebie boxes. And it just goes to show you it's so much about what people think something's worth. Most people, including myself, I don't know what everything's worth. I mean, I've learned a lot over the years I've been doing this, but the reality is nobody knows everything. So you might find something in that freebie box, if you are willing to spend a couple of minutes digging through it, that will shock you. Once you get through the shoelaces and the rubber bands and the receipts and the stuff that you're like, I can't believe they even put that in here, there'll be something that will shock you. And so don't give up. Don't give up. I found a Limoji, and that's something I've learned is something to look for. I didn't really know about these things, but they're little containers. And Limoji is a place from France, but they're little trinket boxes. And I found a trinket box like that in one of these free boxes one time because they didn't think it was worth anything. And I think I sold it for like $30. And not that that was a huge sell, but I mean, considering I got it for free, I thought that was pretty amazing. So just be smart. If you're going to stop, go ahead and look at everything. Why not, right? So it takes you a minute, and maybe there won't be anything in there. But just try to open up your mind. And since you're on an adventure anyway, because I really see garage sales as an adventure, go ahead and look at everything. Now, another thing I'll say, and I've been guilty of this myself. Okay, there's signs out. You see the signs out on Thursday and Friday, garage sale, maybe all over the neighborhood or whatever, the area that you're in. And they're having a garage sale on Saturday. Well, maybe the weather's not, maybe the weather was supposed to be good and all of a sudden it wasn't. So you're thinking, they're not going to have it. It's bad weather. You can do that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I have been so amazed. If you go out in the bad weather, you probably think, oh, no one's going to have their garage sale. They're going to postpone it. And a lot of them will. But guess what? A lot of them won't. If they have a carport or a garage or some way they can cover everything, and they're in an urgent situation, like maybe they got to move, It's like, well, I've got to have this garage sale. They'll make it work. They may put a little tent out. They'll work around it. I mean, unless it's monsoon weather, they'll figure it out a lot of times. And guess what? There's no competition. If you go out on one of those slushy, rainy days that's not ideal and you're not like really feeling it as far as, oh, I can't wait to get outside and look around, you will have your pick of everything, because guess what? 90% of people that go out garage selling will not go out on that day. And that is a great day to go out and just take what you want, because you won't have that much competition. So those are some basic things that I would keep in mind for garage sales. I sort of, depending on if you're looking at an app or you're looking up the garage sales, try to chart it the best way you can in terms of, hitting the ones that are in the same area. Just make it logical. But sometimes I don't have the time or whatever, and I just go out and I look for signs. I know every area is different, but in my area, people are big. They've got their signs out, and it's usually, even if I haven't planned as well as I normally do, I can still go out and find garage sales. But don't pass those up. You'll find some unbelievable deals at garage sales. Well, this is kind of a short video. I don't have much else to say. I'm looking forward to garage sale season. It's just getting started here. I don't know when it starts in your area, but there is a lot of gold that you can find at garage sales. Take care. Hope you're having a great day, and good luck out there hunting. Bye-bye.